Hi and welcome to this weekend of LaneSmash as we are now entering the B and C semis here this weekend. This is match number 44, TMNT versus PTSD on the Jaeger tech plant lane to Chumash tech plant. Obviously, quite a lot of you people will be familiar with this lane with the Chimney Rock neutral base in the middle. I'm sure you guys have all heard me going about this lane several times by now. The lane itself is pretty straightforward here. We have NC starting in the south and TI in the south and NC in the north. Bases are Jaeger Chemical Lab, Chimney Rock Depot, and Chuma Scans Barry. They are the bases that both teams will be fighting over in the initial, with Jaeger Tech Plant being the home base of NC and Chumash Tech Plant being the home base of TR. And of course, with the neutral base, this base in the middle is up for grabs for either team. And as we've seen in previous games, this has essentially been stolen by the team who would not gone to point at the first few things. And obviously we see the usual air fights and ground vehicles coming either down the road or to the east. As we are roughly just short of 6 minutes from starting. Obviously we are on a 3-minute delay, so I don't want to give away too much information of either team's composition in so far. Having a look quickly at the TMNT roster here, we can see that TMC themselves are made up of several different outfits. Obviously, I understand that the roster can be quite hard to see on stream, but just to give you a general overview, the stats are there for your pleasure. As we now look at PTSD, we see that they do have quite a smaller roster on this list, it would seem. But the same as TMNT, they are also made up of several outfits, as you can see. So with TMNT playing as TR and PTSD playing as NC, that will put PTSD in the north and TMNT in the south.
We start in 5 minutes.
With the 5-minute timer being announced there by the referees, I will wait a good 2 to 3 minutes before I even start to look at both teams, and hopefully we can get that done before the game actually starts. From previous games this season, we've seen quite a lot of tactic issues on this lane. We've even seen a few smaller scale battles as well during this season. We almost saw someone get the light bridge at the chemical lab. Unfortunately, I've not seen anyone die to it yet. I have still yet to see a big confrontation on this road. I wonder if NC to the north will either go east down this area or down the main road. And same for TR, will they use the bridge or will they also flank to the east? It's going to be quite interesting to see which team manages to get onto the 8 point here at Chimney Rock, because we've seen it quite often where both teams will essentially ignore it, assuming that the other team will get there first, and then they can allow themselves to jump in the last 10 seconds and steal that cap. And we've seen it in previous games where both teams have had that same mindset, essentially, and hesitated to get on point early. But no doubt we will see the usual potential cheese coming up here from either side, pushing up here with Sunderers all the way on to the capture point. It is yet to be seen what sort of composition both teams have Will they go ESS main? Will they have a mix of ESFs and vehicles? Will they be primarily vehicles? Who knows? I guess in a few minutes we will also find out. So this is the first game of this weekend, as I've already mentioned, TMNT versus PTSD, and after this game, we have WFAT versus RSPC versus WFAT after this game as well, so it'll be a bit of a double barrel today. Obviously, if you don't hear my voice, or you don't hear the game sounds in the background, do let me know. I always seem to have fault problems with this game sometimes. Like, I test it, it works, and then when you come to live streaming, it just decides to pile in. So we're going to go head over to the TR now. It is 17:58, so we should be within that 3-minute margin of error. And as we can see here, TR have several prowlers and a harasser. It seems a galaxy in the not too distant background there. We do have a few mosquitoes there, especially in the higher and on the pads. It seems that they've gone for the combined arms approach here. Maybe the galaxy is going to push ahead and get someone on point, or maybe it's going to have in reserve. That also remains to be seen. But it's good to see that they've got their prowlers, and it kind of confuses me as how some are on the starting line, but some are kind of far back, so maybe they're going to be in reserve, maybe they're going to go elsewhere. And as we zip over to the northern side to have a look at what the NC have, we see the two also are very ESF dominant here. More so than the TR. They can be primarily all ESFs. I'm not seeing any galaxies, I'm not seeing any sort of vehicles. I could be wrong about that. I mean, I've been wrong before. There's been a few sneaky people hiding. Well, as soon as I say it, we see an army of vanguards here. 6 vanguards. Will they go to the bridge? Will they go to the arch? Will there be a sneaky TR who gets this light bridge? And will we see a sort of casualty? Something that I want to see this season. So we should be starting now any second now.
Start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Match starts.
And that is the match start there. We see TR straight away off the bat getting those harassers up of this road, going straight for the bridge. On the flip side, we see that NC still have the bridge. The vanguards are going for it. They are going for the bridge. I'm not seeing any sort of TR infiltrators here. We might get that main road confrontation that I've been wanting for all this season. We do see 2 TR galaxies in the background. We do see the first of the Prowler getting up this main junction here. TR are beating the NC here, but it does seem that NC are breaking track. They are heading east. They do have the numerical superiority here on the ground in vehicles, and we do see 2 vanguards splitting off from the main force here to push to the right. We do see NC S-Bot coming in to help with these destruction of these prowlers. We do see the usual air battle above me right now. Will we see the usual pincer movement here? Will these vanguards get spotted? Will the TR be able to prevent themselves from getting caught off here? We do see these 2 Rep Gals. We have seen Rep Galaxies on this season before, and they do, when played well, they do suck up a lot of ESF and a lot of firepower. But as we see here, 1 is burning. Seeing Bregs does go down, and it looks like there was a max inside. That could have been used. That's technically a waste of nanites as far as I'm concerned. We see that TR the first to get some sort of potential presence in this base. We don't see any NC yet. We do see NC are slowly coming down this road. Only a few TR prowlers and harassers remain here. NC making that pincer maneuver, as we've seen many times this season. Making quick work of these galaxies. These vanguards here not exploiting this opportunity to potentially cut off these TR at this bridge. You see our TR being a flash into the battle here. Very super sneaky. Sneaks past the vanguard. Harassers still trying to keep these vanguards at bay. Nobody is on the point yet. And as I've said before this match started, both teams normally in this season have been quite hesitant to get on that point because both teams seem to have that mentality that they can steal it from the other team. But you see here, we need another TR max, probably the survivor from that plane crash. He goes to point, but he can't capture it. He is getting hassled now by ESF. The air game is still ongoing. We did see that NC did have a very large air force to begin with. And it does seem that they are pushing back the TR all the way back to their home base here. Still, the harassers are persisting here along the bridge. Vanguard's pushing south towards Skylight's battery, preventing any sort of TR reinforcement. We are seeing TR pulling more prowls, more harassers to try and beat back these vanguards. The ESFs in the air are harassing this defense here, but the cap still remains to be uncapped by either team, and we do have one maxi there. Ice 24 TR waiting in that corner, waiting for that little infiltrator to come. We do have another max here as well. Quite a few max. He might be taking a sleepy time, or he redeployed. And here we have a galaxy. The premature job there on the mountainside getting picked up by the ESFs. Ripe for the killing there by those ESF, just waiting to pounce on that infantry. Beacons go up for TR. Strikers being used to try and keep that ESF at bay. It's the harasser from PTSD. Will this max? The max, is he asleep in the corner? Has he realised? He should see that the point is flipping to NC. He should act now. You wait for the squishy to come in. The NC magically disappearing from my eyesight there. TR finally getting the count there. 1 infantry to 1 max. Striker getting used to good effect here to try and keep these Reavers from persecuting this beacon drop here. As we see TR now forming on the southern side of the base. We do see PTSD starting to bring their Sunderers up this lane, as earlier mentioned. As the Reavers try and keep the Strikers at bay, they do manage to break the precipice of the A point here. There is a few TR on the capture point, but there's not that many. If one of those Sunners was to come up this road and deploy an entire squad, I don't think they would have enough manpower to defend the A point here. 3 minutes left on the timer. Here we see a Cobalt Bulldog bus here, pounding into the capture point here. The max still remaining here. You get a conk, he gets another conk. No one's exploiting the conk here. One skinny does go in. Max is coming for the kill. He's hungry. Unfortunately, the max does go down and the point is now undefended. NC do flip the point here. So yeah, trying their best now to get rid of these force multipliers. If I am too loud, I will turn myself down because I can barely hear myself at the moment. We see TMNT Sunderers here being harassed by this copious amount of Reavers, which still seem to have some sort of air dominance. Reavers coming in lower here for the A point, trying to deal with the strikers. Big, maybe a small to slash big push here for TMNT. They do get decimated by those Reavers. Harassers trying to vie for control here. We do still see the Bulldog Cobalt bus here for PTSD, which obviously can be used as a forward spawn for PTSD when they are ready to try and breach this point. We're seeing TR now getting cut out in the open, trying to deal with Sunderer.
Mano is with you. Do not falter.
As we see here, NC very dominant on this little lane here to the western edge of Chimney Rock, with TR being very dominant within the eastern side of this base. Both teams pretty much close to each other, but no one's really utilising like light assault C4 heavies to try and dominate the central spine here, this central hill. Reavers still persisting, trying to get rid of this TR. We are seeing PTSD slowly trying to get onto point here. Lightning goes in to try and get a few peaks here. TR pushing out the capture point. They don't need to do it unless they're trying to get a beacon out. Resonate goes up for TR. TR are back up and running. PTSD bus still being there to provide that spawn solution. NC and TR using their beacons here to try and fight for this point. 1 minute 10 seconds left on this timer. Both teams here for control of this A point. TMT still persisting on point. I do think the last remaining defenders have been destroyed here by PTSD. The last heavy goes in the corner. 40 seconds on the clock. Can TMNT get back on point within the last few seconds and manage to get back that effort they've had?
Failure is not the
And we've seen this many times this season where both teams are hesitant to get on point, and then in the last 40 seconds we normally see a steal. And maybe we'll see that, maybe we'll see the return of TMNT here. Maybe the ESS will keep them at bay. I don't see any sort of more sort of beacons or sunderers here for enable, well, to enable, my words, to enable TR to have some sort of spawn solution here. I am seeing Harasser here. The Harasser is getting taken out. Can they get a beacon up for their comrades? But no, they do get decimated there. Several Harassers trying to make ingress at this A point. Several guards defending this little spine here and the Sunderers. And as PTSD get the first rock, we don't yet see any sort of push onto Skyland's Barry. Reavers here still trying to keep these vehicles from spawning. TR mass deploying here with strikers. Do see Reaver here, and anytime now we will start to see the column of NC pulling out of that base with their Vanguard and Sunderers coming down this road. There's not many TI to receive this convoy coming down here. We do see a few harassers into contest, but it's the Sunderer which is going for the garage. The Sunderer itself not going for the garage ground spawn, it's going for the upper level. We do see a TR harasser here. Not well could take out Sunderer. We do see PTSD the TR on here. That's link control point. There's a few fish coming from PTSD to try and contest this point. Not seeing any sort of beacon. Will we see a back cap? We are seeing TR population extremely low. Beacon coming up. And he's still holding the chimney rock. No TR as of yet. We are seeing Blacksea hovering around on the northern side of the lane. Strikers, we spotted it. PTSD making a very slow push onto these doorways, trying to get as many peaks as they are. Also replying in kind, spotting where they're moving, SC pushing, switching. Get not many TR here. TR are switching to confront this push. NC getting pushed back to this corner.
Watch your 6 infiltrator in the area.
NC game picked off here by many doorways on the base. He's trying to make a push now on the northern doors. Max snipe as many TR as he can. He goes down to the infiltrator there. Gets counter stabbed. It does manage to get to his master to give him that vital repairs that he's going to need. He's going to try and keep that amount of CR going to CR saving here to favour the striker to keep this ESF out of bed here. However, Spice and Striker for this to be it's the NC Reavers trying to pick up as many outlying teams as they can.
Hey, wake up.
On the northern side of the lane.
Mano is with you. Do not falter.
Test. Test. I'm not too sure if the microphone is now being choppy or not. If it is, do let me know.
Failure is not the path of enlightenment.
NC here with 25 seconds left on.
A new conglomerate has taken the facility.
Northern side of the lane.
Transport spotted.
So hopefully the microphone is now working. Hopefully, and do let me know in chat. PTSD here, still fighting for this back in here. TMNT still holding the point. PTSD slowly on.
I owe you one.
And now hopefully again, with some minor adjustments again. The microphone was fine before the stream, however once I go live it just seems to pile in again. TMNT still holding the balcony. PTSD have yet to come to the point, it seems. Will we see a back cap by TR at any point? We are seeing Sundra leaving the base. Will we see a back cap here by TMNT? We do see a few TR here. Will we see a big TR pushing on point here? Can they get on the point? Is the previous base been flipped? No, they can't get this. TMNT here using their beak to get back on this point. PTSD redeploying to try and pick them off. TMNT still hard capture here. Harasset is on point. NC down because trying to get rid of these beacons on the road. With an open route, these Reavers can shoot onto the capture point. TMT here getting harassed by every single angle, every single doorway. Max is going in the southwestern door here. Harasser trying to breach. Harasser is alive, fighting for his life here.
Victory has not
In
eluded us.
eyesight of the Harasser, just get to there.
Plano is with you. Do not falter.
PTSD here, managing to secure the A point, kicking TMNT off the point with the Lucy returning them. They do have 1 minute 40 PTSD will have to win defensive before they can even think about getting back into that plant. Is the previous base being flipped? No. There's 1 minute on at the capture point here until NC can flip the point at the plant. TMNT here using their beak to get back on this point. PTSD redeploying
5
to
minutes
try
remaining,
and
5
pick them
minutes.
off. TMNT Sunrise here trying to break their way through onto Science Battery again. With 20 seconds on the clock, can TR get in there and re-secure it for TR? PTSD, a few maxes waiting for them. To TR going on to point here. TR Sunrise getting intercepted there by the NC.
A new conglomerate has taken the facility.
Still making some minor adjustments to the microphone again. Hopefully it will sort itself out eventually. I'm not too sure what is going on with the microphone. Big push here by TMNT here. Hesitating on the steps here. Being met by NT Maxes and infantry. EMP just go out, just take out the Max, just take out the infiltrator. NC is scrambling now to try and contain this push. TMNT here on the offensive again. They do get intercepted at the stairs. Some do manage to breach through there. Unfortunately, they are unsuccessful on getting onto the A point. PTSD now in a position to counterattack, as they no longer have to wait for that point to be resecured. You have a few Reavers coming in, potentially maybe get a beacon down, maybe to get infantry to try and get that back cap here. See one NC beacon in existence. PTSD are trying to be very opportunistic there with their rocket launchers. She's at PTSD are sending infiltrators the very long and scenic route there. Will TR continue to turtle, or will they push out again, as they've been doing quite well in the last 10 minutes here? Will they go on the offensive again, or will they stay here waiting for that PTSD response, which they surely must know is coming? It does seem that there's quite a few PTSD staying at the previous base, expecting some sort of last minute push here by a TR. Seeing that both teams very hesitant to move here. The microphone again. Hopefully it will sort itself out eventually. I'm not too sure what is going on with the microphone. Big push here by TMNT here. Hesitating on the steps here. Being met by NT Maxers and infantry.
End of round, end of round. Everyone leave the continent. You have 8 minutes before coming back.
And that is the end of the content. I do apologise for the comms earlier. I'm not too sure what the problem was. I have yeeted several pre-settings and a few compressors, that kind of thing. Hopefully it is now working. It was working prior to the stream on the testing. I don't know what went wrong there. It could have been RTX voice.
Now belongs to the VS.
So now if you do hear me speak properly and you hear the fan in the background, then that is a sacrifice that will have to be made.
A new conglomerate has taken the facility.
So you're seeing that PTSD were very reluctant to make any sort of big push onto the tech plant. They just decided to turn onto Tumor Skylands, expecting TMNT to push out, and they did several times. They did push out, and we did see several Sunray pushes coming in to try and retake this facility, and unfortunately they were unsuccessful. As we wait now for the lanes to get flipped, I'm going to assume that's going to be something very similar the next round. As we saw the first round, PTSD did use that massive ball of air to
Teams can
essentially
now re-enter the continent.
push off any sort of TR presence in the air, and we did see quite a heavy use of Vanguards, which did manage to decimate the TR Prowler convoy when he eventually did split up here. And we've seen it several games where people will come down this road, they will hit east, and they will come around and they will pincer the southern faction on this junction. And we saw it again in the first round, as we've seen in previous games. Will we see both teams hesitate to get onto this capture point? Both teams again were very reluctant, and not until the last few minutes did we see any sort of like pushes by either team, which saw them contesting and controlling the north and side of this base. But now, as we have the faction swapped, TMNT now starting in the north and PTSD starting in the south, will we see their starting tactics differ, or will they remain more or less the same? As both teams slowly get back into the continent, I'm going to give it a minute or so to allow them to pull their vehicles. I don't want to give them too much, give the game away in what they have and what they don't have. So again, apologies for the earlier microphone problems. I don't often look at the Twitch chat when I'm streaming, so I didn't see the message until quite late. Thank you to the people who DM'd me, poked me, and that kind of thing to tell me that there was some sort of like choppy robotic noise there. Having deleted several hours of compressor work and settings and disabling RTX voice, I am now hoping that the microphone is somewhat crystal clear. And if you can hear the fan in the background, then I do apologise, and that may annoy you guys, but it is warm here, very warm. So as we wait now for both teams to come on to the continent again, for those people joining us, this is the match 44 of this season, and after this game there will be WFAT versus RSPC on this lane. So if you've not seen the Heyoka to Chumas lane enough, then stay tuned, because there's another game after this game. Because everybody likes a bit of Chimney Rock on a Friday night. I don't have a co-caster with me for this match, but on the next match I should have a co-caster. Obviously real life problems and personal lives do come first. So unfortunately you've had myself, Dodsaw, and my robot counterpart tonight, Botsaw. So yeah, I do apologise for the microphone problems that we had earlier. I'm just waiting on now on the referee to give me some sort of indication to when the match start is, so I can start having a little sneaky peek at what both factions have. And I'm going to assume off the bat here that PTSD will have that copious amounts of Reavers again, with that small team of Vanguards, and NC will probably still prefer to have a mix of galaxies, repair galaxies. And we saw then they had two repair galaxies. They didn't do that well, but as we've seen in previous games this season, that two galaxies working together to soak up that ESFs does work, and we've seen it in previous games. But I do think they'll continue to use their combined arms approach. But then again, they counterbalance the lack of air with strikers. So we'll probably see another usage of strikers. But I want to see at least one team drop on the 8 points straight away, so we don't have that white space. We don't have that time where both teams are like, oh, we'll wait for them to go for the point and then we'll wipe them and then we'll jump on, we'll take the credit, as we normally see. But as we saw in the previous round, both teams were starting to try and get vehicles from both of their little lanes here. We'll see if PTSD managed to get the vanguards onto this junction, preventing the
Second
TR.
round starts in 1 minute at next deposit. 1 minute.
So we are 1 minute away from it. I was hoping for a bit more of a warning there, so I'm going to quickly zoom over to NC here. Again, they have their little team of vanguards here. Will we see them push on to the junction, or will we see them push east? Again, a very heavy usage of ESFs, no galaxies in sight, ESFs on the pad, and as I literally quickly zoom over to the north towards TMNT, I'm seeing nothing here. Where they are hiding? Oh, they are here. Again, they are preferring to go for that vehicle play. If that Mosquito doesn't move, he's going to explode as soon as that Prowl starts to move. Not many ESFs I see. I don't have any eyes on their galaxies. But they do seem to be in a position to use the arch and not the bridge. Maybe they're going to fear this little light bridge here as a potential threat.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Second round starts. Second round starts.
So it seems here TR only have very few Mosquitoes here. I'm only seeing one. There could be more. But they are in no way, shape or form ready to compete with the amount of Reavers hurtling towards this one little Mosquito. NC Falcons pushing up the main road here, pushing towards the bridge. Will we see them skirt east, or will we see them push north and contest the TR armor column? It just seems that the TR are essentially pulling westward here with a few vehicles trying to contest the main road. A harasser on lightning. The amount of Reavers here scoping out that threat, and they are harassing the harassers. No signs of the one-man air force. Where is that Mosquito? I hope him the best of luck. NC Vanguards pushing north to contest these vehicles here, and these ESFs are going to relay this information. They're going to say, hey guys, there's TR armor column coming right towards us. The lone TMNT Air Force here struggling against the PTSD Air Force. He does take on a sizable force there, and that man, in my eyes, is now the VIP of this match. We see the TR push here, getting pushed back to the bridge. I'm not surprised PTSD haven't hacked out this light bridge to prevent any more TR armor column coming from the Jaeger chemical. Will we see a capture point? Maybe TR here, maybe they're on point. Again, both teams very hesitant to get onto that capture point. Again, yeah, I've seen some TR in the background here. The remnants of the TR armor column struggling to keep a Prowler alive. ESF's coming in for the kill there. Will we see a pull by the TR, a mass modded pull to try and wipe this air? Because any effort insofar has been met by resistance by the air. Their freedom of movement is massively challenged here. TR still persisting on the eastern side of Chimney Rock, still getting harassed by the ESFs. I'm surprised we have not seen these vanguards turn eastwards, and oh, I stand corrected, we are seeing vanguards trying to deal with these vehicles here. The Reavers coming in for those spicy kills there. Infantry in the open as an air to ground farmer. What's not more to like. We do see TR are on the point. TR beacon going up.
Way to be, soldier.
3 TR heavies with strikers on the capture point. One Reaver goes down to that striker again. TMNT using those strikers to counteract the balance for the air here. And we are seeing several Reavers getting burned up here. But again, we are seeing so many TMNT getting cut out in the open. It kind of feels to me that they're in the open to be like, hey, I'm a distraction. Come farm me. More TR here from TMNT getting onto point, setting up that little striker nest to try and keep this ESS at bay. Another one comes in to try and get a few kills here. Will they focus him? He just managed to break away. And this is the thing about this base. 3 minutes on this timer. All it's going to take is one big push from PTSD in the last 20 seconds to secure that base. And this is the thing. TR have to poke out those doorways to try and get those ESF kills. NC Harass exploiting that.
Joined your channel.
Hi, I'm here to jump in. I'm just logging into my ops cam.
I am not sure who that was, but hopefully they'll join me in the next few minutes.
Hey, Dotso, it's Billy. I'm here to come co-cast. I am logging into my ops cam now.
So as you heard there, folks, I'm joined by Billy this evening. And hopefully he does not have a robot voice like me. Or should I say my co-caster, Botzo. Not Dotso, Botzo, the robot voice. As we see here, TMNT pushing around with their Sunderers here. Quite a few repair Sunderers pushing down the western edge of Chimney Rock. Will they bully these two little Vanguards here and Harasser? Vanguard lying in wait here. Getting outflanked by TMNT. Pops die windshield, however that does not save him. He does go up. PTSD on the capture point. 2 minutes left to go. The remnants of TMNT are getting decimated on the point. They still have the beacon. Maybe for not much longer though. Again, 2 more minutes until PTSD can capture this base. TR trying to take down these Vanguards. They do have a potential to get a spawn solution up on that eastern edge. Several
Actually flipping the point here. They are seriously threatening this cat now.
great play by TMT. They managed to use that beacon to get back on point, which really will annoy PTSD here. They try to formulate any sort of plan to go towards Haker Chemical. They just need to keep those ESFs from punishing that spawn. TR trying to get a Sunderer to try and reinforce the cap. Obviously using that Sunderer to be essentially a forward AMS to spawn reinforcements, but it does seem that PTSD are also doing the same on the western side of this lane, using their own Sunderers, their own Vanguard to decimate that TR Sunderer. We do see multiple TR beacons going up.
Both teams seem to be struggling to get infantry through the other side's vehicles here. That being said, the NC is starting to clear out most of the TMNT's vehicles.
We did see a big beacon drop there by TMNT, supported by a very much burning Sunderer. Can they use this momentum now to get onto capture point? Big push by TMNT
see
here.
One NC max left on a point, and that should be an easy point take, but yeah. Just left to see if they can hold it, because there's still so many vehicles left by PTSD, and there's a big push forming out outside.
Another beacon revive grenade goes out for TMNT here. Well done to TMNT for getting onto point. 30 seconds on the timer. Can they push out? Can they kill that beacon? Can they deal with that max? Max goes down by that harasser there. NC using a beacon here on the ridgeline. And going after the last 20 seconds, can PTSD mass deploy onto that beacon, get a cohesive push to going?
Yeah, what you need to do from that beacon is group up first, and that's a difficult part to do. Actually,
7 seconds.
Maybe not that difficult, because there's no TR vehicles left, so this is just gonna be an infantry fight.
NC pushing into the point, last 2 seconds, and TMNT get the capture in the last few seconds there. PTSD did make a valiant push there, but unfortunately they were repelled by TMNT here.
That was very well played from PTSD. TMNT, I'm sorry, I'm confusing the teams here. I did not see that coming, looking at the opener, and at the first round especially, because PTSD seemed so dominant in this base control.
And this is the problem now, with the NC beacon still standing and the ESA presidents. TMNT are going to be very hesitant to leave that capture point. Do they have anybody going to Chima Skies to try and get that back out? Because I'm not seeing that many.
I see
NC.
one harasser going. He's been spotted out by the air, but there's only one Reaver on him right now, so he might get there and put a beacon down. And the one NC beacon is not a big threat on this base, on Chimney Rock. There's no hard spawns, there's no vehicles for PTSD. This is easy to hold for TMNT.
We
And
are
all
seeing
the PTSD air is busy trying to chase down whatever's about to make its way to Tumors.
no signs of the one-man TMNT Air Force yet. NC still having that air dominance. PTSD trying to slowly get back onto point here. Team Spitfire on the point goes down. NC are getting a back cap here. It would appear that TR did redeploy at some
I
point.
see some mosquitoes now. There is 4 mosquitoes starting to engage the Reavers and the Liberator. Currently it's just a duel at range. They're not really going in, but I'm sure they're about to.
It does seem that the TMNT Air Force has had a budget increase and they've gone from 1 mosquito to 4. Hopefully we'll start to see them contest the copious amount of NC Reavers here. But then again, PTSD are on the capture point here at Chimney Rock, and they're already starting to get those Thunderers down the little lane here. We do see a big redeploy here by TMNT, and they are slowly pushing point. Can they get onto point before those Thunderers arrive?
Those 2 Sundies are repair Sundies, and while there might have been a really strong combo a while ago, double repair Sundy is really not that good anymore. They only heal at 50% speed of what they heal other vehicles at. So you really want Blockade Sundies here, in my opinion, and maybe 1 repair Sundy.
And
They die so quick now.
And with TMNT's preference on using strikers to deal with ESF, they're not that well equipped with like decimators to try and deal with those Thunders in the first place.
That's a good point. However, they do still seem to run C4 on medics rather than medkits, which you do really want to do in this format, because it is a format of cheese. So I don't think they'll struggle too much with these.
I mean, I do stand corrected there. We did see a very valiant effort there by this TR Light Assault to try and take out this PTSD repair Sunderer here. It is smoking, however the engineers are already repairing it. We do see a few TR here getting a few kills onto NC. Not that many NC defending the capture point.
Meanwhile, the airfight's quite chaotic. Both teams went for a ground dive here to help out on the ground, and now they're sort of realizing, oh, we're right next to each other, and start shooting again. That being said, there's a lot more Reavers up than Mosquitoes, so I'm expecting PTSD to win this air control, even though the strikers are helping. And PTSD is doing a good job of pushing out of the spawn room, point room, and holding this forward rock. However, there is TMNT vehicles moving in. There's 1 Harasser and 1 Sundy, and they're really putting pressure on this 1 PTSD spawn point, which is the Sunderer.
TR making another push for the capture point, using that Sunderer to try and get them ever so close to the point. Harasser comes in, takes out the NC there from behind.
I love seeing this Harasser play. I said it before when I was streaming another match of Gallos, and I'm always happy to see Harasser play in LaneSmash. We don't see it that much anymore, but anytime we see it, buggies are fucking cool.
NC trying to get those Sunderers and Harassers to the capture point. The TR Harasser did try to T-bone that Sunderer. It is smoking. We do see a very valiant push here by several TR individuals trying to destroy that bus, but PTSD using their beacon here to reinforce their push. Beacon goes up for the capture point. C4 goes out.
The more important spawn right now, I think, is the Sunderer, because it's a much quicker spawn, and I'm surprised we don't see more efforts from TMNT to take that down, because they're not that pressured on time yet. Then I guess it is the safer play to go for the point first and get a bit of time back, then go for the spawn solutions again. And they're going for it now. The Sundy is about to die, and that's PTSD's main spawn dead once again. They have a Vanguard inside now though.
2 minutes on the catch point for PTSD. Will we see another push by TR to try and dislodge PTSD off the point? We are seeing another Sunderer coming down by TMNT here. Immediately goes down by PTSD. We do have a Harasser, do have a Vanguard, and they're also using Decimator to try and destroy any sort of TR vehicles coming in. Harasser bumps a Harasser. Harasser does go down for TR.
That Vanguard PTSD managed to roll in is huge to deny the enemy Sundies and harassers as well. It does so much damage, the AP cannon.
We do see these TR harassers here in the south still trying to compete. We are seeing a few TR on the eastern side of the base here with the beacon. NC quite dominant along the ridge here.
I'm surprised how well NC is holding right now, considering they do not have a hard spawn up. Not anywhere close, at least.
But
They
you would
probably have a hidden one behind the rocks. Oh yeah, they do, and it's getting attacked now. But that's quite far away. And they're doing a brilliant job at holding this.
It surprised me that the NC aren't dedicating a Vanguard to contest the vehicle bay here, because they're allowing TR to constantly pull Sunderers and vehicles, but they may have a Vanguard there, but it's not going to last forever. But as we enter the last 30 seconds...
15 minutes remaining.
And that's 24 seconds left on the cap. TMNT's really got to make a move here, and they are...
They do have a beacon. They do have a beacon. If they redeploy now, they have a good chance. They have made considerable gains here. They are pushing in through the front door here.
The PTSD Vanguard finally is about to go down, but it's done its job. It's denied TMNT pushing for so long, and they are pushing in now. It's gonna be a resonate war, and PTSD wins it. That's very well played. Nice retake there.
Team Spitfire there, potentially getting a kill.
That was very well executed from PTSD. Good hold. Managed to deny the enemy vehicles. They had air control, secured air control before they went for their push.
But alternatively, that was a very good push by TMNT. They were very close, but they did get decimated by that ESF. But it was great to see, even to the last few seconds, they did try to get that capture. As we see NC Galaxy now heading towards the chemical plant.
It is already flipped, actually. There must be someone on point here. I can't find them. But oh yeah, there's half a squad here already.
Yeah,
a few medics. No, not a lot of heavies or even maxes yet. This is a brilliant base to hold with maxes, though I guess NC maxes aren't what they used to be.
TR harassers already trying to contest the periphery of the A point. Gunning down a few NC here. NC are reinforcing from the northern side of the bridge. They must have a Sunder up, maybe a clog Sunder up. We do see a lot of NC on big stairs here. Obviously they do have the capture point. No doubt TR are redeploying to try and contest this base.
This again shows, this transition shows how much PTSD has improved, or how they understand how to play LaneSmash. They were immediately on the next point. They immediately had spawn solutions up. This is very well done. On the other hand, these TMNT harassers are really doing work. I know of at least one strong harasser player in their roster, unknown Banu, and I think we really see them doing work here. Killing so many respawns from PTSD.
We do see one of the TR harassers go down there, and they've been doing really well to harass PTSD. As we see here, can he get the kill? He gets the NC kill. The last of the NC harassers are going down. There's quite a heavy TR harasser presence. Potentially they can find the Sunder where they're coming from. I think it's going to be the middlemost bridge. Yeah, middlemost bridge. They do have a cloak Sunder there. We are seeing TMNT using mosquitoes now to try and peak as many kills as they possibly can. We are starting to see a push by TR coming across the bridge, coming in through dubs.
Ooh, there's a bolter sitting above them and shooting them in the back as they push into dubs. That's a good spot. Sadly, he does have to retreat.
Res grenade goes out for TR on the beacon. The infiltrate doesn't take out the beacon, however. TR are breaching the room here, however.
This is a resonate war. This isn't one for TR yet, though, this room. This is very much still in progress. There's no more NC resonate, so TR actually does take the server room. Oh, one more, but that's gonna go there. That's not gonna go anywhere.
TMNT, they're going for the revive, not going for the medic. That's a costly mistake there. He should have killed the medic.
PTSD actually manages to recover the server room. I am incredibly impressed. I thought they lost us.
TMNT not giving up, however, they are still fighting. TMNT using Yeet Assault to try and push past the defenses. It looks like PTSD are going to lose the room again. Can they get cohesive again? Can they get back in there? A lot of dead bodies on both times.
Just again and again, resonates going off, reviving the whole group.
TR managed to get the back out though as they corral NC into server room.
I guess the NC must have run out of spawn solutions with all those harassers and mosquitoes around. They probably couldn't get to the point anymore from the Sunday.
Revive grenades going out for NC here on corridor, top of big stairs. Big push from Skinny and Big. The remaining TR do go down. They do manage to flip the point.
Another brilliant recovery from this PTSD team. Good push from TMNT initially, but once again PTSD just recovers it off revive nades. This is great play from them.
It seems that TMNT are very invested in getting that counter cap, but they don't have that stability like PTSD do, and like trying to get themselves back up, because they're doing well to wipe PTSD, but then it just takes the medic with a revive grenade, as we saw there in the back end. And we'll have to wait for TMNT now to gather up as a cohesive force and push over this bridge again. And if PTSD are ready, they'll have some Reavers ready to go. But it does seem that TR do have some mosquitoes now, which is probably going to keep these Reavers at bay as they hunt down the Sundra.
Those mosquitoes right now, those players in those mosquitoes could be on the ground now that the respawns are denied sufficiently, that the spawn solutions are denied, that the vehicles are denied for the NC, and they could be on point pushing the point.
Oh, we do see...
They could be on the ground pushing the point, and that's what TMNT needs right now, people to push that point.
Unfortunately, we just missed a push there, comprising of 2 TR Maxes on big stairs. They do get repulsed by PTSD, and with 10 seconds on the timer, I don't think we'll see a last second push by TMNT. I think that was it. They still have outside control.
Outside control sadly doesn't flip points, and that's another cap for PTSD, and that's another point.
Will we see anyone going to the third plant now? Do PTSD have anybody on the point good to go?
I would be very surprised. They needed people on their point. They struggled there. They probably pulled everyone in that they had. And the point isn't flipping yet. I can't see anyone here.
TMNT do have a beacon on the roof.
Air control.
They do have a beacon on the roof. They're sniping as many NC as they can as they leave the safety of the capture point. Those harassers doing quite a good job at corralling the NC, but if the TMNT want PTSD to turtle, then they're going to have to come here and force to kick them off. It's going to have to be another well-timed assault by TMNT, allowing NC to leave, but getting the back cap going. Because at the moment, PTSD are still on the capture point. Defensive beacon goes up for PTSD.
I see one Galaxy probably getting ready to go to the attack plant, and there's 1 or 2 Reavers to distract the TMNT air as well, so this might be where PTSD makes their transition.
Still a heavy presence of NC on the server room / big stairs here. Not that many. They do get AMP. They do get MP. Will TR exploit it? One tries to get a snipe on big stairs. TR on Dubs. Dubs pushing in through Dubs onto the server room. They do manage to wipe a few. Res grenades are going out. There's not many. There's the harasser here. He can clip the point and... Oh, have they been backcapped? Yes, they've been backcapped by PTSD.
They are being backcapped, and the Galaxy just about got the drop off before the mosquitoes burned it down.
And the thing is, had that guy not repaired his harasser, he could have flipped that point and we would not be in this situation right now. It seems that PTSD have yet to get any sort of cheese on to the A point.
They are pulling Sundies in the back, so I'm sure some of those are for spawns, but they'll definitely get some harassers or something upstairs. But those Sundies are crucial. If you don't know, you can spawn in a Thunderer currently occupied by one of your squad mates. So these Sundies are the main route of spawning inside a tech plant if you're trying to capture it.
It
And
must
they
be.
wiped the complete TR push here with that Sunday, just running them over and the harasser.
It must be said that this cap is a 6-minute cap, and as we hit the 6-minute mark on this round, if TMNT were to touch the point for 10 seconds, PTSD would not be able to capture this base. So maybe we'll see this harasser get a 10-second decifit.
It's gonna be tough because these tech plants are brilliant to capture. It's why you see so many better outfits on live servers when they do ops, organized or any kind of organized play. They often go for tech plants because
They are making a push now through sewers. They are going for the outside route here. They are intercepted. Well, intercept the Reaver. Reaver goes down. However, their position has now been compromised. TR pushing through the shield door. NC switching now to gun these poor defensive TR down. They do manage to breach the gate, but
5 minutes remaining. 5 minutes remaining.
That shows you how hard it is to push these tech plants, because this is one of the better angles to push from, as the back is covered by vehicles, the vehicle bay, and they have to run through the open here, and then they have to get upstairs via the grab lifts or upstairs via the stairs. It's both incredibly easy to be camped if they even make it there, running through the open.
so providing that TR don't touch the capture point, this base is still viable for PTSD. There's roughly a 7 to 8 second difference between the game time and the capture time.
TMNT actually cleared off the vehicle bay in the back, and they took control of this. They have one Sunday inside. They're spawning here. It's still gonna be tough for them to get upstairs, but this just got a lot more defensible for them.
We're only seeing one NC harasser defending balcony, so if they wanted to use a defensive beacon, they could get behind this harasser and take control of the balcony. I mean, they do have 4 minutes to respond to this. I mean, they don't have any opportunity to counterattack onto the chemical lab, but they can at least prevent PTSD from gaining that extra point.
Which is absolutely what you want to do. They're taking the point right there. They got us. They're flipping the point, and that should already be enough to deny this capture. And you don't want to lose your home base.
It will be enough.
Might have already been enough.
By 3 seconds. By 3 seconds, it's enough.
Rise to the moment you can.
I mean, I'm seeing it as 3:27, and on the... No, actually, there's... No, they can't. So I'm seeing it as 3:20 on the capture point and 3 minutes 13 on the timer. However, we do see a good effort by TMNT to essentially penetrate the big gun and get a harasser to try and contest the harasser on the balcony.
So TMNT managed to wipe the spawn solutions. They also killed the vehicle terminals in the back, which stops PTSD to pull any new Sundays for new spawns. So this should be a lot easier to push for them now than it was 2 minutes ago. And they already got on the point once, so I'm sure they can touch this again and secure their home base. And they're touching it again. That's definitely got to be it.
But it's great to see until the very end TMNT at least pushing for that point, not giving up.
Well, you never want to lose your home base. That is really the ultimate loss if you do lose your home base.
So I think we might see the last of the TR pushes here. I think they're going underground. They might be going for the vehicle bay. I believe they are. I'm going to try and zoom away really quick to try and get this. Is there any sort of NC defenders here? They do have a stunner up supporting.
2 minutes remaining.
But we're seeing 2 heavies coming from the sewer.
PTSD does have beacons up again, so they are coming in over the balcony, but those are slow spawns. They do take control of the point area once again, though.
TR focusing on getting the
TRs
revive
still
grenades up.
around, but honestly, with seeing matches of both teams before and how strong PTSD have become throughout this tournament, I am impressed with how well TMNT managed to disrupt them. PTSD were, at least for me, clear favorites going into this match, and TMNT really managed to, to disrupt that, to get in there and slow them down, stop them even at points. Get that neutral cap. That was an amazing neutral capture.
Are you not better than this rabble?
So as we enter the last minute of this round here, TMNT have done the best they can to prevent PTSD from getting that extra point. Although it is massively apparent that PTSD have won this game, I'd like to commend TMNT for their efforts because they have really done, in my eyes, quite well. Even if it is that VIP, in my eyes, a one-man Air Force, he tried his best. But as we slowly wind down this match, I'd like to remind you that within the next hour we will have the next match 45, which is WFAT versus RSPC on this very lane, on this channel, an hour from now, 50 minutes from now should I say. So as we go on to the interviews after this game, there's going to be maybe a 20-minute intermission.
End of the game.
And as you're there,
PTSD
end of the
wins
game.
4-1.
4-1 for PTSD there. So yeah, we're gonna let these guys, blow some steam. We'll wait for the captains, and then me and Billy will interview the team captains.
RSPC versus WFAT in 1 hour should be a game that's probably more interesting than this one. Should be a much closer match.
So I am generally looking forward to seeing WFAT, or the Winchesters I like to be called, playing something different than TR for once. So they're playing VS today, which must be completely alien to them. Obviously, for people viewing, this is the B semis. Tomorrow we have the B and C semis, and on Sunday, if I recall, we have some of the final group games. But obviously, that's not going to be the end of the tournament. There's a few more weekends to go. As we see there, today PTSD win against TMNT, but TMNT, if I recall, do have a few more matches to play. We're just going to wait for the team captains now.
I think they're ready. I think we need to jump down and, into their channel.
So me and Bill will jump now, and we'll go interview both team captains.
Okay.
User left your channel.
No.
Channel switched. User joined your channel. User was moved to your channel.
So guys, to both teams, thank you very much for playing. Great effort by both teams. Congratulations, first of all, to PTSD for your win, and commiserations to TMNT for your loss. However, both teams did play really, really well, and I was quite shocked at times. Both teams did play quite well. I'm going to start off with PTSD first. So, if you don't mind telling myself and the viewers here, so what was your force composition like? I mean, I saw from my perspective that you guys were very heavily focused on ESFs. But was that a planned thing? Was that just the way you wanted to roll it kind of thing? Was that a last minute thing, or did you plan for that? That kind of thing. Just talk us through your composition.
Well, again, this question. We are what our plan is to dominate the nanite battle, as in we waste their nanites more than we waste ours. In the first round, it went really well. And in the second round, we had some major screw-ups on our side, which cost us the neutral base. And in general, it worked according to plan, I would say, except for that little hiccup on the second round. And yeah.
So, in hindsight, PTSD, what would you do differently? What do you think went wrong? And in the future, how would you change that? Is there anything that you think that you could have done differently, that kind of thing?
Definitely. We can definitely work on that, because it was our own problem. It wasn't so much like we expected. A lot of cheese, especially those harassers from TMNT. We have seen how they worked against WFAT. And we expected it, and we wanted to counter that, which, like I said, in the first round worked well. But in the second round, the synergy was missing. Everything was all over the place. The timings didn't work out on a neutral base at all. And suddenly we were on the back foot and lost that base in the last 10 seconds. And that is something that we definitely have to correct. Like, that cannot happen again, especially not against now the A bracket teams like
Definitely.
Short Stack or TM.
So
Well, you don't have to play them yet.
So my next question, and that kind of relates to both teams. I will ask TMNT the same question when I get to them. So we've seen in the first round, we saw in the second round, and we've seen in previous games by other teams that both teams are quite hesitant to get on to the capture point at Chimney Rock first. So were you guys essentially, wanting the other team to get onto point and then wiping them later on, or were you just naturally held back by TR, for example? Why wasn't there like someone on point straight away, or were you just slowly building your way up to the onto capture point?
So that the base doesn't get stolen.
I don't know, TMT, or was it directed at us? Or?
That was at PTSD.
Oh, well, it's not a race. Like, LaneSmash is not a race. You have 4 minutes or even if you keep, especially in the neutral bases, if you keep the timer neutral, then you have as much time as you want, basically, to clear up the neutral base. And even if the time is flipped, you still have 4 minutes. And so, from our point of view, there's no reason to bunker down from the first second of the 4-minute cap timer. And so we go for a different approach. And so far that worked for us pretty well in the neutral bases. So
TMNT, on to you. So explain to us, again, same question as PTSD, explain your composition. From my perspective, we saw you guys primarily using vehicles, especially in the second round. In the second round, we only saw you have one Mosquito who did his very best. In my eyes, he is the VIP because he took on a lot of Reavers. So TMNT, talk us through your composition. Like, how are you guys essentially made up of, essentially?
Well, I think based on like the players we have, I think sort of the availability of pilots is definitely like a limitation that the team needs to sort of plan around, and that basically affects the squad composition a lot. And the idea in this case was that we would try to control sort of the vehicle battle as much as possible, and sort of deal with the air like in the capacity that we had. To be honest, I was pretty like surprised that the opener from PTSD turned out the way it did. But I think it's just also like a lesson like learned that the air game is extremely powerful if you can bring it. And for our case, I mean, we didn't have a rush to flip the point because we know that taking the neutral base is very much about controlling the force multipliers near and around it, because you can always start pushing it in the final minutes. And I think we were pretty successful with that in the second round then, where we had a better means of controlling the force multipliers because we basically switched our strategy.
And do you feel that switching that strategy like benefited you as a team, or?
Well, it was improvised to a great degree because we really didn't expect the air battle to be dominated that heavily in the first round, and I think that was one of the major factors why we really got pushed back to the tech plant in the first round, because we had really big struggles controlling the air, and especially in Tumas Skylands, which is a very open base.
And do you feel like, in hindsight, obviously hindsight is 2020, do you feel like there's something that you could have done differently overall kind of thing, or do you feel like you essentially did everything that you originally planned to do, essentially?
I'll put it this way: we probably came into the match as prepared as we could be, and that we sort of, given the composition of the team, that we were sort of always planning around certain limitations that we just have, like being like a true B bracket team in a sense. So I think if I could have the choice, obviously I would try to bring as much air in as possible. But in the cases you can't really do that, especially not if you have also the harassers and things like that. So we tried to control it as much as we could, but we sort of lost the air control in the first round for sure.
Because it must be said that you guys did really well at like putting on the pressure on PTSD sometimes, and it was great to see like you guys not like giving up on that home base. You were pushing back out to Tumor Scouts Battery. You were contesting the base to the very end. It was great to see, and that's what I like to see. Even if teams are on the losing end, that they keep on going, they keep on improving, they keep on playing. And in my opinion, you guys did really well, and unfortunately did come away with a loss today.
Well, I mean, that was to be expected in a sense, because we knew that PTSD is a very strong team, very well coordinated, has a lot of strong players, and they sort of executed their coordination like excellently. So there's no surprise there. But I think the mindset we came in with was that we would be putting up a good fight at least, despite like the odds being against us in a sense.
Yeah, that was extremely evident. Yeah, you guys did really well to keep putting that pressure on. You had a few occasions as well where you wiped PTSD, and like especially when you got the cap on Chimney Rock, I was so happy. Like I had a little chuckle to myself. I was really impressed with that. But yeah, well played to TMNT. And
well, I think
again,
it's a consolation not to exit the match 0. So
yeah, I mean, we saw you guys do really well to because there was like maybe an 8-second difference on the last capture point there for your home base, and had you not contest that point for literally as 4 seconds, PTSD could have maybe got it. And it was great to see that like tenacity to get PTSD off the point and prevent that extra point. I'm not too sure if Billy has any questions.
I do have one question, but first I want to thank you guys for the amazing match, and especially for the Harasser play. I love seeing Harassers in LaneSmash, and you are both teams that do play a lot of Harassers, and that was fun to watch. I do have a question. So obviously PTSD, you don't know who you'll be facing next yet. It's the winner of the next match that's going to be happening in 40 minutes, WFET versus RSPC. But TMNT, you already know you're going to be facing Short Stack, a very strong team. Do you have any feelings? Do you already know what you're going to do? Anything?
Well, so I think same answer. We're just going to do our best and try to stay in it. We'll see what happens. So
you are playing an interesting lane against them, a very strong turtle lane. So maybe you can punish their offenses.
That is true.
Interested to watch it. I'm hyped.
Hey, TMNT, I really like that air timing where right after the armor column started to fade away, you pulled in that air, and some of us were in harassers, so that really put on the pressure for the air squad. Good timing there.
Yeah, very much intentional. That worked out.
Good.
And I just want to say again, both these teams improved massively. Probably PTSD a bit more over the course. They put in a lot of work, but both teams improved tremendously since the start of LaneSmash season. So that's what LaneSmash, watching LaneSmash is about for me personally. So if you want to go back through some older VODs, you can all find them on YouTube and see how these teams did in their first matches.
GG TMNT.
Yep, very good game.
Yeah, GG.
Yeah, GG guys. Okay.
Good night. Thank you for casting.
Yeah, thanks for stream, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for the game.
User
Nice.
disconnected
Bye-bye.
from your channel.
Oh, I was born this way. Let me guess, it was Durdle.
User disconnected from your channel. User disconnected from your
Okay,
channel.
I'm sorry, Durdle. You can't learn this. You gotta be born this way. No, I'd have to ask my mother. She's the expert on that.
So basically, yeah, RSPC versus WFAT on this lane in the next 40 minutes. Stay tuned, go have a break, go have a Kit Kat, that kind of thing. I'm probably going to get some more beers, I guess. But in the meantime, I'm going to cut to the intermission and I will see you guys in 40 minutes, I guess.
That's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I am really looking forward to it because obviously, as we see this weekend for the viewers, we don't really know the lineup for some of the future games this weekend. Obviously, we know that TM and Short Stack are going to be playing. We know that for a fact on Sunday. But obviously, this game is more of a case of how the B and C semis go on this weekend. And it's going to be quite interesting to see who ends up playing TM and who ends up playing Short Stack on Sunday. And obviously, we'll find out the results of that in the next couple of hours. So while we have this little intermission then, I'm going to go through the quickly schedule as we know it. Obviously just then we've had match 44, which was TMNT versus PTSD. PTSD winning by 4-1 there. The next game, as I've already mentioned, is a WFAT RSPC game, which is match 45, again on this lane. Tomorrow, June the 13th, we have our first game starting at 1300 UTC, which is Cobalt Terrans. I think there's some... I think it's been confirmed that YLBT have pulled out of the tournament, it does appear, so I'm not too sure what's going to happen in that match. I do think there's still going to be a Cobalt Terran game tomorrow. I can't confirm that as of yet. I'm sure we'll find out more details as it goes on. For all I know, the game could still be going ahead, but as I know at the moment, it might not be as planned. However, there's still a game going to happen tomorrow at 1300. Following that game is the 1500 CC versus Voon game. That's going to be on the lane 3, which is Crux to Crux. And if the guys who don't know what that is, and also get very geographically embarrassed like I do, that is this lane here. So Crux to headquarters all the way to Crux Mining, which is lane 3. And just for people's awareness, the Heyoka to Chumas is lane 1. So it seems to be like Friday is lane 1 and tomorrow is lane 3, and then who knows what Sun is going to be. But as we see there, as the schedule gets updated, we see Short Stack versus TMNT on Sunday, June the 14th at 1800 on the lane 6, which is the Zots to Mulak. And
that is an interesting lane because it has no neutral base and it has the Ziggurat and Nettelmeyer Gardens in the middle for both sides, and those are both great bases to turtle on.
I mean, if there's one thing I am sick of seeing this tournament is this lane. But it is one of the lanes that a lot of teams I know have rehearsed or played in quite considerably. So definitely a lot of experience for a lot of teams there on this lane, because I think this is probably the most common map, I think, this season. I could be wrong about that. But it's the one that I've casted personally on this lane. I mean, literally every time there's a WFAT game, it's essentially this lane.
I think it's a good lane for these teams to face each other because it's potentially so turtly that TMNT can actually put up a real fight against a way stronger team that is Short Stack. So I think it might make for an interesting match.
And obviously the winner of this, was it the winner or the loser? We're going to play TM.
The loser of WFAT versus RSPC will play TM.
Yeah. And obviously the winners of the other games will go on to... Yes, I missed a game there. So there is an empty part of the schedule, which is the June the 14th. Again, at 1600. There's 2 games on at 1600. So they are the winners of tonight's games. And then at the same time, concurrently, there's a TM versus the loser. So that's going to be... obviously the loser of the WFAT RSPC game. So hopefully that will come clear in a few hours. And obviously, after this weekend, there's still
Two more weekends.
Yeah, roughly 2 more weekends of games. So teams aren't out yet, and this has been quite a long tournament. Insofar, I hope people have been enjoying it as much as I have. But this weekend is the semis, is the final groups, that kind of thing. So hopefully this afternoon in an hour and tomorrow we see some really good quality games. Like, I'm looking forward to the WFAT game versus the RSPC guys. I'm looking forward to the TM game, the short stack game. These games this weekend I think are going to be really good. I do feel for TMNT against short stack, but they're the type of guys who would do really well to keep going, to keep moving on, and I hope they do really well on the Mulak lane. I have no inclination what the 2 1600 games are going to be on what continent yet. Hopefully, maybe by the end of this next match, I can give you guys some sort of idea on that.
I think the coin flips have already been done, so as soon as the winner is decided, we should know.
I mean, I'm just scared of alt-tabbing to read Discord, because if I do, then I'm afraid that the robot voice may come back. Because it just seems to be that every time I alt-tab, the default Windows settings just decide, you know what, I'm taking a day off. So yeah, in the next 30 minutes we should eventually get going. So I'm going to take a quick 10-minute break. Will you be joining me for the next match, Billy?
I'm not sure if you already have a co-caster, so I don't want to take anyone's spot here.
Because it is down to be Haylett. I know he's about. You probably will jump in, but Billy, if you want to stay, even as a third co-caster, I have no problems with that whatsoever. It will prevent me from speaking to myself again. I'm going crazy.
I will see. I might go and play pickups. I'll talk to Haylott and see if I don't want to steal his thunder.
So I like going to the break. I will see you guys in 20 minutes, hopefully. I'll go live roughly 10 minutes to the hour. So I will see you guys then. Stay tuned.